Yo, how's it going, big boy? Nice of you to tune in. Apparently, the updated formula for the loot doesn't change. Reward anything over 500 so you hit a 550. Well, it's true. Well, I want to clarify a few things. One that's kind of true, kind of not true at the same time. So you're right in like the shadow scaling doesn't change. AKA, like when you hit a purple, only about 6% of the time it's gonna be a shadow. That's still correct. There's no difference between in terms of when you hit a purple. It's still going to be like 6% from a 500 to a 550. But there is a big difference in terms of... Sorry about that. There is a pretty big difference going from a 500 to a 530 though, in terms of drop rate on the actual purple. Normally you only hit a purple every, I think, 7.5%, roughly 7.7, maybe 7.5. A 500, but in a 530 you'll hit it said every about 8.7%. So pretty significant. Get a whole extra percent, like flat percent. Ah, unlucky. It landed over there. Ah. Not my best click. So it's chance versus what the purple will be, yeah. Still pretty worth it. Is it amazing, like, change? No, honestly, it's not that crazy. Like, way back then, like 540s were, like, significantly better than 500s. 525s were pretty good, too. Now it's, like... I only think it's, like, 530s right now. Or pretty preference-wise, though. I should have went for the boulder skip there. How can you hit Akka Shadow so fast for me when they're in the spawn animation when I'm on a tactile? I usually miss out 5 ticks. Just click better, I guess. Depends on which spawn you're talking about. If you're talking about the very first 80%, then you do need to lose 1 tick, but there's like a way around it so you don't lose a whole attack. You just all you gotta do is do like a step back. For like the 60... What the hell did I press? But the other ones, you can just kind of click it right when you hit it, like when you hit the threshold. For 80%, you definitely need to wait 1 tick though, unless you proc was easy. Maybe because you have them on right click. That probably wouldn't be recommended. In like a wet noodle. The minion's not healing it, only the melee one does. Yo, how's it going, Nick? Slow Jeffrey. Might actually have to flick just because of how bad the RNG was, but we'll see. May not be necessary. I usually plan to have a little left over anyway, so I think it's fine, but the boot swap, I am quite literally. I need to learn how to do that transition. A few ticks in the beginning. Have you settled on your 530 setup, or is there still room for improvement? I think it's his personal playstyle at that point. Because if you're willing to flick, you go double power, and after going double power, you would take a range setup for Zevik. So it depends what you're willing to do at that point, but I like the setup as a baseline. Yo, how's it going? No ID? Hope you're doing good, yeah. Chillin. A chug jug? I do have a chug jug, but not in the inventory. That with Brock. Mr. 545 runs. It is what it is. Overly draining is dead content. Top right inventory item? That's a cape, my guy. I don't know about you, but that is not cylindrical in any way. I'm sorry to say it. Yeah, not a jug jug. I was not paying attention. Well, Avernick treads impact your setup. I'm just gonna bring Orba legs. Nice. Crazy Redemption, you gotta make sure you always have it on, just in case. Never lucky. We will be forced to flick. We made a lot of mistakes this raid. You can drop Magus Ring too, right? He's talking about when the boots come out. Probably not. Depends. We don't know if the magic damage cap is gonna go through or not. Whoever treads Magus Ring doesn't mean if max it or not. We'll have to actually try it in game to see if it does or not. Honest. Because Jagex Ash said there's no actual like cap implemented to the game, so if that's the case, then you sure bring it. 586. If there is a cap, then we're not. I'm not really sure at that point because I'm not. This is accuracy. Accuracy is only good for Zebik. I probably wouldn't bring it. Won't the accuracy be necessary? It is nice to have for sure. It's only good for this room. I don't think I'd be willing to bring it for this room. Hello Reynolds, what plugin tells your dry streak? I think it's in the Tombs of a Masket plugin. If you choose between doing flicking nonstop and doing a 600, which one would you do? I'd probably do the 600. Although both are kind of cringe. I mean, doing one 600 is like whatever, right? Sure, I just rather do the 600. I feel like that one's a bit of a no-brainer. Assuming it's like be forced to flick for the rest of my life, or do a 600. At that point, the 600 is just a quick unlockable. Flicking nonstop for one raid. Basically, you're telling me. I mean, the 600 has some flicking that it probably would need to do, like a small amount of flick. But I assume you mean like all praise epic, kind of like flick. I think I'd rather, if you're putting it as just like one random raid, then I'd probably just wouldn't mind flicking one random. I think I would take that over having to deal with, every. I really don't like medic. The only time I'll run medic is if I'm boosting like Ironman friends. Am I blind, or did you not bring Masori or Torvalex? Yeah, I don't bring them. They offer pretty low benefits. The Masori chaps, it's good if for like ZCB accuracy. But I'm not ranging Zebek either because I'm chilling. I'm trying to make it a no-flick raid, but I've made a lot of mistakes. Probably safe to no-flick after the obelisk. How come they get an open ZCB obelisk of a ZCB since you have obelisk adrenaline running? Honestly, I didn't even think of it. Masori legs surprisingly don't give much DPS to T-Bow. Maybe someone asked already, but what do you think about the new gloves and boots? I mean, I'll for sure take them. It will be good. I just add Torvalex to my setup, and that's really it. With the extra slot saved. Ancestral legs, even Baba Kefri, yeah. Doesn't really matter. If you have this specific level of strength, like extremely specific this level of strength, then you don't lose actually any Fang DPS adding the Torva legs. Does your Cole work at Akka? It does, but he regens really fast, so it's not really good. Was it on Accurate for Baba? Yeah. I do a little small min-maxing. I keep Void Waker whacking on P1. Then I can just BGS whack the landing. How come sometimes the jug explodes very little and other times a wider area? It's always going to be a small area if you have upset stomach on. How's it going, Aaron? Howdy. Did I have adrenaline running? I could probably go to ZC beat again. Yeah, same thing. I remember I have 100 mil setup. Hey, you do like 400 to 100 mil setup, okay? I have like a old ass VOD of me doing like an Adlotl, and 445s are pretty chill. You have upset on stomach on it used to do a wider area. It was the same area as 3x3. Maybe it looked smaller or looked bigger because it exploded in a big area. Whereas a lot of the time it'll pop like inside a rock. And you don't really count, I guess, the area that doesn't matter. Oh, that might hit gnome. Oh, did I switch Paralite? Maybe I ran into Lava Rock or something. Finally decided to remove my DT tiles and start doing it the proper way. No more checkerboard. Anyone asked you about the new thrall change, Soul instead of Blood? No one has. Be kind of crazy. That'd be real nice. I don't know what I would do with the extra inventory slot, but be nice. I have not even heard about that. Planning on streaming the new boss? Probably. Maybe not release date because it's on a Wednesday and I have work, but I guess, yeah, I guess like the other thing is like, what's the point of it though? That's extremely rude. I just realized it costs 5 souls. Well, 5 bloods. That would actually be pretty annoying. That would be bad. For the Iron Man, that would be really bad. Also, it would create a nice sync for Aether runes, but like, do we need a sync for Aether runes? I don't know. I don't know the numbers enough to know if that's even justifiable. How's it going, Aaron? This music's quite different from the usual OSRS streamer music. Yeah, we got some jazz in there. I'm listening to emo stuff on the Twitch one. Iron said it would be difficult for soul upkeep. That makes sense. I don't know enough about like upkeep on runes and from an Iron Man perspective to make a real opinion. I'm gonna refrain and just keep my mouth shut on whether that's a good idea or not. No. No one saw that. I messed it up. It was free. I think Void Wake or Fang's probably better than 2 Burning Claws. Minus 12 seconds, that misclick, yeah. All that skip potential lost. What Invos would you drop for a 500? I guess it depends if you're fast enough. What I drop, I'd rather add Quiet Prayers and then take off Pathfinder and then take off Overlords. That's like the standard 500, but you gotta be comfortable making a 30-minute timer on that one. I mean, you can copy this setup and just do whatever you want with it, though. I have a 500s video on this YouTube channel if you want like a Bofo run of it. I would always have a 40-minute timer though, no matter what I did with 500. Yeah, that's the 500 setup if you want to do zoomies. Is 2 downing P2 ever worth it at Nuke's purple chance? If you can 2 down and you don't have a shadow, it's usually pretty worth. I think Skull Skip is a little bit better in terms of like wasting time for more purple, but especially if you're like using a Trident or Sang, you should definitely go for a 2 down. You could just go also, you could obviously just push to like a 500 where it's like really hard to 2 down, which is like a fine excuse because hey, you pushed enough Invo that it's whatever, but like if you've ever, a lot of people know what it's like to Trident P2 and it's terrible. No, I should have moved one up. I would have prevented. Wait. I stopped swarming like really early. Thought I was done. Minus another 15 seconds at least. Probably more like 20 seconds. Ever get collapsed by the melee scarab? Yeah, sometimes he bites me in like a 60. It doesn't really matter though. I think last raid he bit me. How does it work now with the arcane jumping? So it still uses the like 39 damage or whatever threshold. So if you hit above it, it'll auto jump. Another condition for proccing it is if you hit 3 hits, whether they miss or not. The only thing is the shadow doesn't count, or like mage splashes don't count, so you have to be very careful about that. $39 damage. It's either 38 or 39. Be wrong. Something like that. That might have been chance right there when I went to melee on 14. One tile back, that's safe from both, yeah. It is indeed. Working on getting my 370s cleaned up so I can move up to no help needed and make it a 408. We'll get there eventually. Oops. You want like an in-between, like some help and no help, you can do no help and then turn off diet. I'll guarantee silk dressing. It's my favorite propaganda. What's your bone dagger cut off for 545? You only got one chance, right? So I don't know what you mean by cutoff. I drink my regen. Yeah. Watch your 400 bandage propaganda. Blows my mind how you did that right in 32 minutes. Wait until you see the 500 with the same setup. Done in 36. Still with bandages. The newest video, William, is on my YouTube channel. Is probably like one of the better ones I've made for like low levels. No yellow cares? Understandable. You'll get it soon though. Drop rate is a lot more common. Any tips for killing the skulls quick enough during beat 3? Click them faster and don't mess up. There's no secret to killing them faster, it's just don't misclick. If you're using true tile indicator, like I am, then I would recommend clicking once your tile indicator updates, rather than like using your eyes on the animation. I waited to tick there. Yeah, or when you see the XP drop. Like, use an in-game indicator of the next tick starting. Whether that's your tile updating or an XP drop or something. Like, I physically cannot attack faster than you can. So. No secret there. If you're misclicking, that's something else entirely. It is what it is. Unshake the hands. Oh man. That one shadow I missed over here actually made a difference. Could have been a difference at least. It might have not been. Oh, I think he finished Dagon High. Do you know how much percent skull skipping gives? I do not. I do know that 3 down and skull skip together gives you around 1% more purple. And that means like 1% flat purple. That seems to be like 16%, I think. Something like that. But I do not know what skull skipping by itself gives. Never lucky. If I brought the Masori pants, that 30% accuracy would have been the difference. The new boots and gauntlets, they'll technically help. Very, very minor though. One out of 3, I'll take it. How do you do Akka with T-Bow and Sang? Well, you put those 2 items away, and you use the blowpipe and bait. That's a direct hit. And you use your Fang and your blowpipe. You can use a crossbow for Akka if you want to butterfly him on melee phases, but for the shadows you definitely want to be using blowpipe. And if you can't use your crossbow, then you definitely want to be using it. It is going to be a slower room than if you brought a Bofa, but I mean, it's a worthwhile trade-off because obviously your Zebek and Wardens would be significantly faster. Blowpipe better or T-bow? For Akka, almost always Blowpipe. I don't think there's any setup where T-bow's better. Am I sharing your max distance lines for Zebek? You gotta get your own lines. I actually don't know which one they... I don't know which of the lines they are. I have too many lines. I actually don't know which one they are. It doesn't let you export here. It's not like you can export just the ones you're on, I think. Can't flick the level 4 mage? Nah. You cannot. You can only flick 2 and 3. Oh, why am I flicking? I don't got time for this. No flicking rule breaker. I'm sorry, so sorry. I got bored. I caught slipping. Current dry streak? That's a good question. I don't know. Not that much. Can I do some damage? Thank you. Oops, wrong with the roll. Did you not need to BGS last hit? Nah. I'm just gonna do it only on the last hit, I think. I don't think it's necessary to do it any other time. But not 550 is overly draining. The purples per hour are slightly worse. Plus, it's a lot easier to die in those. I'm just doing whatever seems to be the best purple per hour. Unfortunately, 545s, 550s, whatever, don't seem to be it. Best ToA pet transmog? I'm not sure if I like... I think I'm gonna go with Zebic because Long Croc is cool. But Kefri is really good too. I'll lie. Like the fact that Zebic's a long boy, that's kind of cool. How can we stand so close? To limit the travel time of the projectile. Are keep back and double trouble that hard to learn? Not too hard, no. Best GP power is being a level 102 account doing a 50 Invo. Probably true. Probably true. Masori kit? I doubt it. They should make a shadow kit. What they really need to do. They should make a T-bow kit and a shadow kit. Looks like they have Scythe kits. Any lucky today? Nah, nothing so far. How many raids do you complete and how many shadows? We have like 1,200, and shadows I only have 6. Is it true that double trouble without shadow is bad? Because every specialist puzzle making it longer. Well, previously, since you couldn't butterfly, yes, but now that you can butterfly, it's not as bad as it was. I would recommend taking it now. Before, I would say like no shot, it's worth, but now it's like yeah, it's pretty worth. You're using a both, that's not bad. It'll definitely slow down the raid, but a lot of the time taking double trouble keepback will bring you into another 50 Invo threshold, which is pretty worth your time. Unfortunate. Actually was boulder skip. Probably was worth the 6 stick there. Probably bring Crystal and Bofa. Yeah, I'd probably just bring full Crystal, full Bofa, bring Nativo as a side switch. If I hit big here, it could be good. Nah. Not a good boulder anyway. My depth charge has faded away. I'm gonna let that hit me. I don't really care. Remember the Bofa's also, I think, your BI. Well, pretty sure it's your BIS Obelisk killer as well, Luca. Log. Here's my log. Any shadows after update? Nothing so far. If you can't fit too many Masori pieces, just try to fit the body at least, Luca. It's still pretty worth to do that. MLA chomped my ass. Might be better to camp Crystal. Surely you can just shelve some mage switches. Just like a 4-way mage or something. Unfortunately, well, I don't think that affects you bringing a 4-way mage or not. Because mage twisters don't really do anything too much past the 4th. At least, unless you have Shadow, of course. But definitely do try to bring in at least a Masori body. I think it gives you, like, Jibo, like, 4 maxes or something. Pretty crazy. I could transition north-south. How get extra shadow hit? I had no idea what you're talking about. I don't even know which north to which south we're talking. Guess you mean here to here? I usually do something like that, but it is one tick loss if I do it. It's 0 tick loss if I do it from the other way. I kind of just wing it, to be honest. I may not be the best person to ask about transitions. Some of mine are good, and some of them are not that great. Most of them are either 0 or 1, so can't be that bad. I think. Who knows, maybe that one take will cost me a shadow hit. I messed that one up. Let's sit too close to the edge. Crazy. I don't really listen to like metal and stuff too much. At least not anymore. But I'll make an exception for songs I've listened to. Ah, I was not paying attention. Do you get frustrated when you wipe? Not really. It is what it is. Wiping is a natural part of the process. I try not to let it get to me. Plenty of other things annoy me way more. I'll plug in my mouse. Oops. Did not mean to click that far. Alright. Triple blood essence. Alright. Sounds pretty rare. Should have shadowed this one first. Would have saved a couple ticks. I just do that. I just did that. No. I bring shame to my family. Can I deal damage? Bruh. Assume attack north tile, northwest quadrant. Transition attack, counter attack, 3 attack by 3 times reach south. You just made it more confusing, Bubba. I'm sorry. I think you might have confused me more. No. I should not have fanged. I should have void wake. That was a free skip. Listen, I know I asked this before, but would love more post-update videos. Always love how you bring the variety to your gear and Invo setups. I don't know what variant I should do. I mean, I could do the max Invo one, but kind of felt like a waste with the variant shreds coming out. Like, why release a video that gets like worthless in like 2 weeks? That's I guess it's not that much different. Bring Torva legs, bring the burning shreds. The boss doesn't have a bad drop. I guess the Ayak is... Nah, it's still pretty good. It's good for toppers. I hope it's a fun boss. That's all that matters. Fun and challenging. That mage weapon, why the shadow solo? I don't think so. Because it's supposed to bridge the gap, not be better. Wait a minute. The bag. Someone didn't click the power there. You're kidding me? That I counted my salts correctly, but I guess not. You pre-pop prayer regen? You can, but I don't really bother with it. Like, especially your raids are like 36 minutes. Yeah. Would be nice to have a little extra prayer. Gonna try and get my Fang kit tonight. Never tried a 500, but have all the other kits. Good luck, my dude. Got this in the bag. Not too bad. Done a lot easier over the ages. Nuked by acid, yeah. Acid is super dangerous. Level 4 Zepec's not too bad though. I tried for Fang Kit because I refused to Red X Baba. I felt it wasn't the intended way to do Baba. About doing that method was near impossible. And I'm glad they changed it. I'm kind of upset they changed it, to be honest. For solos, I lost 5-1. It's kind of sad. 5-1 was beautiful. Get to do all the mechanics of Baba while having Tick Perfect cycling. What's your purple percent chance? 8.7 to 8.8, depending on like how the rooms go. I agree, Rune Baba, yeah. I miss 5-1. There's like no purpose to doing it. It's just easier now. Ah. You remember to watch stand? No, I just kind of wing it. Stand, yeah, I stand back and watch the animation. Nobody got time to remember. Pulse Cup, yeah, it's pretty good for purples per hour. If you're like doing high enough Invo. Where's my damage? There it is. Ah, whatever. Just me or the newer pets have very clunky animating to them? All the older pet animations are so smooth. Yeah, I think they do have pretty. They do feel like they have lower FPS. I'll agree with that. $16 dry. Nice. Honestly, that's not even dry, is it? Not even that bad. Back in my day, we had 1 in 6 drop rates. How many Rados? We got. How many do we got? Good question. 6. I can remember. And a slow monkey room, but I'm getting rusty. Do I miss 5 to 1? Yeah, I do. Absolutely miss 5 to 1. I've been messing up boulder skip a lot recently. I like the Akka changes. I think the Akka changes are good. This probably isn't worth it now. Yeah, it wasn't worth it. I need to mark area where it's like skippable. I know exactly like if I have enough time. I think it's this staircase that I have enough time. If I'm like 2 ticks away. I tried a new Karis. I mean, it's gonna be worse than Fang. But I haven't really tried it. I guess I could make a like 400-ish video where I use it. I haven't really bothered. Do you find it odd they can't fix Kefri's defense reduction when they created the boss? Look, they may have made the Subway sandwich, but I guess they didn't import the ingredients. I don't know. I don't... Do I find it odd? Yes. Do I find it surprising? No. RuneScript is made entirely of spaghetti. Do a 500 with black hairs to show it's possible. It'd be slow, but absolutely be possible. It wouldn't be that much slower, honestly. I'm gonna guess like 2.5 more minutes. Throw a random number. Much worse on Kefri. Not sure about Kefri, but definitely Baba and Akka. Am I not taking damage from the melee scarab? Big chest here. I mean, even if he hits me big, it's whatever. Doesn't actually really matter. As long as I pay attention and don't die to it. Look, I could stun here if I really wanted to. Most of the time, I actually kill him and don't let him chomp me more than once. But sometimes he'll stay alive and chomp a few times. Most of the time he dies to Bclaw burn. But if he does survive like he did that raid, then I just pay close attention to how much he's biting me. Try not to let him chance me. With the new BIS items coming out, any predictions on how much it'll speed up? I'm gonna guess it'll speed up that big maybe by like 10, 15 seconds. But I mean, it really depends on how much, if it's gonna cap. If it doesn't cap, then it'll speed up the raid by probably like. Did not get that click off. I was trying to do the false red X. I think I'm doing Duke. Any advice for doing Blorva? I'm probably not the best person when it comes to like the Blorva bosses. I've only killed them once each. Watch Red Eye Jedi's guides, I guess. The bosses. I don't know any particular tips that might help you. Or if I were to say some, I would just be talking out of my ass, to be honest. How much of a GP sync was it for you? I can't remember how many orbs I used. Probably in the realm of somewhere between... It was probably somewhere between 150 and 200 orbs, but I was buying them for... somewhere between 1 point something to 2. Reynolds video card kill. I mean, I probably wouldn't recommend anyone who actually cares about the completion, not the flex, to do what I did and not axe skip. It's purely for the flex. I did no axe skip purely because I wanted to flex. And make an order. feel like axe skip makes the fight like way easier than like a Awakened boss deserves to be. I was like, yeah, fuck that. I gotta give myself some arbitrary challenge. Transition you just did. Kind of hard to explain. Tiny claws. I'll do my best to explain. So, when I go from here to here, I'll shadow, and then I usually run up here. Shadow again. Then I'll shadow here. Normally, you can't manual click like this, because it passes you like that, so I just do one click like that, and that's how I do it. What the hell did I just do? My ZCB. Hmm. I didn't click it fast enough. I wonder if I could have made it to the other one in time. Maybe. that the optimal water path? Yeah, if you mess up, it is, I guess. But no, not normally. It's still the same as usual, just don't mess up. I just happened to mess up. Cleanest monkey room you've ever seen. I've actually done a few faster ones. I've gotten 121, I think, as my PB. Ah. Unlucky. All the way at the top. One has a good radius. Look at my whole prayer bar drained at Monkey Room. Gonna stay on top of those shamans. Honestly, if the shaman is like a mile away from you, don't really bother too much, William. Like, you want to focus on maintaining your personal uptime all the time. Sense. Use the volatiles to help you out with a bunch of thralls, but you can see sometimes like the shaman, let's say, is like 2 ticks away from me. Like, I have to like run like 3 tiles, or I can shadow a meleeer. I'll usually go for shadowing like a meleeer. That way, my personal uptime is like more important. Advice for main account mid game that feels lost. Assuming you're probably like in the 70s on your stats or 80s, achievement diaries are usually good. Or going for a big boss, like a boss that'll like significantly up your GP per hour. Would be my personal advice. So let's say like the amount of money you make is like 2 mil an hour. Try to unlock Vorcalf, Havens. Work is getting boring. Okay, then unlock and start doing Zulrah. If you're tired of making money, I would focus on finishing all quests. Go for all Zenites. Significant gear upgrades would be like going for all Zenites. Warcraft by itself is gonna bore you out. You need a goal with the money. Sold my Fang to get DHCB for Vorcalf. Isn't DHCB worse than Lance for GB per hour? Pretty sure it is. You don't like melee. Well, do whatever is either training stats that matter to you. Like if you're 99 range, then DHCB is a waste. There's Aura Nox Halley's a thing. 200 mil all skills. That's a bit of a... I guess that is a mid-game goal. Who's that guy who got 200 mil all and now he's like collection log hunting? Can't remember. For him, it's I guess for him. Game goal. Why don't you try to get your first corrupted gauntlet complete? Unlock all prayers, you know, Rigor Augury. Up the gauntlet is a good goal to go for. I think your first few kills there makes you a lot better at the game. 1, 2, kind of a fun boss, more interactive than Vorkav. 3, it forces you to get requirements for Song of the Elves. Completed a few regular runs, you gotta bump those numbers up. Corrupted. Oh. Not a proc. Wanted to try doing God Wars Dungeon, but I can't find anyone to do it with. I think most people solo it, unfortunately. Ever play Iron Man? No, only Leagues. Which is Iron Man, but, you know, fake Iron Man. I wouldn't be interested in doing it on the main game, to be honest. I think I have enough willpower to do, like, a somewhat, like, played through version of Group Iron Man. But I would never play by myself. I'm not interested in a lot of grinds Iron Man comes with. A lot of chores. A Big Bubba, that's like a perfect example, but reversed. You saw that one? Back in my day, we had Zulrah, and then I went straight into learning solo chambers. Yeah, like just making my own ammo, getting the herbs and stuff myself, doing farm runs, that would really annoy me. You don't have to do that many of them, sure, once you're in the late game, but I would feel like compelled to like constantly have a supply. That would bother me. Probably procs, but I didn't want to risk getting blown up by the quadrants. Hey bro, do you have a guide on double triple keepback? I do not have any particular guide. If you have a shadow, easiest way to get to the middle is when you attack on, these like attack tiles, you just click the symbol of the quadrant that you're in like this. Always helps you get to the middle. If you have a Bofa, you could just try to understand like how the mechanic actually works, which is it always places it on you. It always places it one in front of the direction you're facing. And moving in ones is fine too. Just don't move in ones in the same direction over and over. What the claws for? Mostly for Kefri. I do use them there, but it is mostly for Kefri. Like you spec the overlords and it's pretty good. Off the stats for chambers, you gotta get those stats up. There's your next goal. Let the rabbit hole take you. Of course, like, just take a break and do other things sometimes if you don't want to PVM Licky Tat. I used to just take breaks and like do skilling and random stuff. Why don't you let's say your stats aren't that good, so like if you need to train range or mage, you could do Muspa. You can go join Weedo raids and do team chambers as well. Your stats aren't good enough for solos. You really don't need that many good stats to like learn chambers with Weedo raids. Their minimum rec is like in the mid 70s or something. Ideally, obviously, you show up with like mid 80s or something. But it's up to you, right? Ah. QB is toxic in Weedo rates? Depends on the people you meet. Back when I did it, the crowd was pretty friendly. And if you go to their gear advice channel, they are very strict because they want you to do it correctly, but it's with good intentions. The best boss for melee XP? I actually don't know boss multipliers for melee. I mean, probably like the best like thing to do is do Heater of Blood. They all have good multipliers, but you do need to be kind of good at it. That's a problem, right? Realistically, if you're not 99 melee, you're probably not good enough for TOB. But one of my friends, I taught him TOB from high 80s in all his skills, and he trained all of his melee stats up to 99 doing TOB. Get cussed out every rated TOB. As long as you don't bring troll gear, I'm pretty sure it's fine. Get cussed out means you need to find a different group. Hopefully you get a better experience next time. I'm not sure why you had a bad experience. Last top I did, I got reported for not knowing how to run webs with T-Bow in the back, but I have like 20 KC. I don't know if they can report you for that. You should learn how to run webs, yes. Did you tell them you don't know? Did you try to learn? I don't know. I don't think they make... I don't think that's a minimum rec. Like, yes, you should learn it. But did they... Was it like a mentor raid where they wanted you to learn it and you didn't do it? I don't know. Context. Here's a little bit of context here. Did they not ask and you just started doing it and they are flaming you? Like, what case are these guys? Yeah, like a lot of tobbers can be toxic, I understand. Doodle. Did we all die because I didn't know how to run webs? It's cope. No halfway decent tobber would wipe because like 1 or 2 people wiped. Sure, you running webs probably would have helped, but if they were halfway decent at the raid, they wouldn't have wiped just because you didn't have webs. They just want an excuse to, so they don't look bad for having 300 KC and wiping, I guess. Dude, I haven't had to dodge a bomb in a hot minute. That one I did. Cursed it. Woke up. I was gonna say I haven't had to dodge a bomb in like 10 raids. There's a new spot right here. But I cursed it and now I had to dodge one. Got an endgame iron with dupe shadow. I want to do ToA all long and max, but I don't want to de-iron. It is what it is. You finished the game. It is what it is. Like, I want to try it now. It's like, not too bad. Like that South Park episode. What do we do now? Now we can finally play the game. I don't expect it from people with only 300 KC, but anyone with, like, let's say, I would hope so at least. Over 700 and let's say 50 KC, they should be able to duo a 4-man if the other two die. And it shouldn't like really be an issue. Especially if we're talking normal mode. I've had to do an unholy amount of solo P3 when I was teaching my friends, and I never flamed them when they died, like early into P3. It is what it is. They're learning. And if you're with a low KC, you should always be expecting kind of to do a learning raid. You're inviting them. I need some advice. I want to go for Fan Kit on my iron, but I'm having prayer issues. Any advice on switching to power to life from double power? Well, if you're having prayer issues, well, the first adjustment you can make, since you said iron, I'm going to assume you don't have a shadow. Just bring like a 4-way mage into P2. In case you're bringing more, it's unnecessary. Bring like a 4-way. That'll instantly give you a little bit more prayer to work with. As for where to adrenaline, well, I would normally recommend BGS places, but since you just now said Bone Dagger, I would only adrenaline P1, and I guess P4 so you can stun again, in case you mess up. Well, surely you have like Bclaws. Burning Claws. You might be better off, Fuwa, joining a clan or something. What's the reason to stand close to Wardens? So, Shadow has an extremely long projectile time. Look, if I stand all the way back here, it's gonna take like an Amazon delivery date for the Shadow to get to Wardens. But if I stand right in front of him, only takes like a second. It matters a lot for Warden because specifically when you proc with like one shadow, it actually wastes the other shadow because it took so long to travel a lot of the time. Like, you know, the nulled attack gets wasted. Just salt and hold preserve, resalt at P1. Yeah, probably resalt at P1. Sounds about right. Just make sure you preserve some time in P3. You can use the 500 guide I recently made as a reference for yourself and try to copy that, but just use a bone dagger instead of a BGS. It was an awkward time on the rock. I wasn't sure if it was gonna hit me or not. Now, the reason you want to stand all the way at the back when you're about to start P4 is because you actually do want that extra shadow. Because this time it's not nulled. You might as well, try to get a little extra into P4. That purple percent makes me sad, yeah. It's not what it used to be. Kind of a slow one. Not the greatest monkey room. Pretty bad, actually. Whatever. Any tips on monkey room live? Keep that uptime up. And don't do what I did and get bad RNG with billion shamans at the end. Don't be afraid to leave the shaman alive a little bit. Just to maintain your own uptime. Like, don't go overboard and, like, always ignore it, but also don't, like, spend... Like, don't drop everything you're doing. either, because if you drop everything you're doing, then you end up having like terrible downtime. There is a nice balance to be met. Actually, this could have been a boulder skip. Messed out. Did my first 300 of insanity yesterday. Hey, congrats, dude. I do 280s comfortably with hardcore. Honestly, most people don't really put hardcore on until like 400. You gotta slowly pump up the invos until you learn them all. Especially if you haven't learned like Feel Like Special. That's like a really important one to pick up early. On and slam. There be bananas. Mix up the invos then and swap out hardcore for softcore. Yeah, I'd probably stay on softcore for a while. Yeah, you should make it a high priority to learn every boss in Vacation other than pretty much like Double Trouble, Keep Back, and Medic. Oh, and Overlords. And you should learn all of Warden, all of Zebek, all of Baba. Normal ToAs work grinding? Probably not. Obviously, like, you should do them to learn the raid, but grinding, no. In terms of Rabba Trap, I always seem to lose ticks, and then the swarms and melee hit 30s an hour. It kills me. So hard to deal with anything in the room and not die. Well, if you're doing Rabba Trap, you should probably have Burning Claws. If you're losing ticks, like, you gotta use chins for like the farther ones. Like, this is something really important to remember. The start is pretty straightforward. Burning Claws, 2 blowpipes, 1 Burning Claw. Is it trolling to turn on overly draining to keep Pathfinder off? If you mean to get to a 500, it's not that bad. Bone Dagger, it's probably fine. Just keep in mind the context of you saying it's your first Fang kit, a little bit dangerous because you get less sun. I wouldn't really recommend it too much, but mechanically it's fine. Mess up, let one in. Oh, I got ranged. Ow. I'm trying to learn how to partial swarm, but that's the wrong triple set. I think it's worth din specking Kefri if my best spec weapon is Bclaws. Depends on what kind of raid you're doing, but for me, for example, I'm using Bclaws mostly. This room, and pretty good. They're really, really good on Overlords. Do not knock the Burning Claws in this room. Doing Kefri efficiently is my struggle. Yeah, it takes some practice, to be fair. When you redemption in this room, right there. Man, as soon as you fall below 8, you just step back. Redemption. That's pretty much it. Not much to it. When you have the Rabba trap set up, the ranger can only see you when you're meleeing Kefri, so you just gotta do a step back. Ready, redemption. You fall below 10. That's pretty much it. You don't need to like time it or anything like that. Put it on until it procs. Don't overcomplicate it too much. You only need to do it in the last phase. If you're like noodling pasta on the melee with like burning claws and stuff, there's nothing wrong with dropping one swarm to like do another burning claw or something. Jeffrey is one of the harder rooms. You could either kill a ranger to make up for it. You could either kill a ranger or you could do the Rabba trap like I do. Rabba is a little bit more efficient, but it's actually considerably more efficient, but not everyone's ready for it. You pretty much copy what I did, I guess not did, what I'm doing in these Kefri runs. If you want to do like an efficient 500, Burning Claws are disgustingly good. Or you could just not swarm in Pokemon. Also an option. But you may not reach 40 time if you do. But that might not be an issue if you already have. I do highly recommend you practice Kefri like before. Definitely one of the more challenging rooms to get down. Because although mechanically the room isn't that hard, you do need to like have an idea of the actual strategy before you do it. It's kind of hard to wing without kind of having a preset plan. Also notice that you don't have full armor switches. Yeah, I mean, if you have Shadow, you don't really need that many range switches. And if you're using like a Bofa and don't have a Shadow, you don't really need that many mage switches. I think you flicked a prayer once, please fix title. Ah, shit. Got me. You bring a 7-way mage into ToA Bofa. It's kind of unnecessary, I'm not gonna lie. It's like a 4-way, 5-way is fine. Especially if you've done like the P2 calcs. It's kind of crazy how little difference it makes as you go past like 4. Just use a DPS calculator with your setup and see like where it starts like dropping off heavily. Usually it's gonna be around 4-way. Like it starts becoming like a few seconds. Enchanted legs. Oh boy. Might be a 5-way. Any purples today? Nah, we're dry. We're on a 17 dry streak. How do you know when Zebek blood brodges? Alright, you want to look at his hands or his paws. You want to look right around there. You'll see a red line when he does it. You also can't spam it. It's got like a somewhat set interval. So like I'm expecting it probably within the next 3 attacks. Any moment now. There it is. You see that? Boom is coming. Now I know he won't do it for a while, so I'm just gonna hit empty. I'm kind of expecting it, so I'm gonna look at his hands. There it is. There it is. Now, yeah, now that he summoned tomatoes, he can't summon tomatoes 2 times in a row, so I know for sure next time he does it, it's gonna be the blood barrage. Now it's level 4, so I can't really do anything about it. Now here, he can summon tomatoes again, or he could blood barrage. Tomatoes. So now I know the next time he does it will be blood barrage. Again, at this point, it's not really in my control, so why really bother worrying too much about it? Circle better than a 3-way switch these no, Circle's gonna be worse if overly draining's off. Circle was only better when overly draining was on, but honestly, even these days, I think DCB is better even with overly draining. Just because you could use it at Akka too. Multi-purpose spec weapon. Barrage is 1 tomato. Oh, and whatever. See, that's like the information that I don't even know. I'm just like, who cares? Does it really matter? The ToA log is 57 purples with no shadow. Hate this place. Unlucky. I usually stand until 75. That's what most people do. And until 75 will rapid heal. Bring you up to 76. At least for solos. He bucks Young, yeah. Doing like 450s right now. I was talking to him about like messing around with some setups. I summoned melee throw. I summoned the ranged one. Well, I think I summoned a ranged one at least. If I didn't, then oh well. You know how big the difference between Voidwaker and Burning Claws is in general for ToA? Bob and Kef, like 400-ish? Kefri, I'm gonna guess around like somewhere between 8 and 12 seconds if I had to guess. Burning Claws are still really, really good for the Overlords. But yeah, Voidwaker is definitely better on Kefri itself. Definitely way better on Baba. Baba, I mean, you want to go for BGS first. On average, it'll take you 2 to get defense reduction because you only have like 60% accuracy. Close to 2. Then it's talking about the last 3 specs. So it's 5 Burning Claws versus 3 Void Wakers. Each Void Waker probably saves you about 5 seconds. Actually, no, it probably saves you more than that. 6 seconds. I think Burning Claws is 15. So 5 DPS difference. I'm gonna guess like 9 seconds for Baba? Problem is, it's also a really good core whacker as well. And Voidwaker is also good at Zevek, and is also good at Wardens. So like just Bob and Kefri probably like 20 seconds. But the fact that you could use it as Zevek and Wardens, you know, you're adding a little bit more time there too. Probably losing like 30 seconds. Downgrading. No need for melee range bottoms. No, if you have like really high like max gear, the melee bottoms don't really do anything right now. When the Avernic treads come out, then I'll be taking the Torva legs back in the setup. Oops. You don't get to wait to attack Wardens. Honestly, I did know, but I've been really not caring. I probably should pay attention. Bro started hella calcing. Yeah, I gotta start doing gotta start whipping out the mental math. Slightly better. Yeah, I'm gonna guess like 20 seconds Valvaka. Probably like 30 seconds if you start. I probably should pay attention. It's actually quite a lot of DPS in on the board. I'll pay attention. Is it mental timer for no skull skip? No, I just wanted a little bit of an overheal for the Sun Garrus. Okay, it exists. Brothers. That's not the right music. Never lucky. Jagging said the price would go up. It better go up faster. I see log, yeah, sure. Let's see. This is our log at the moment. Twelve whole pets. Shadow's kind of It's alright. It's not that dry. It's not that great. Oh yeah, Kapari, yeah. That is the mystery box music. I'm gonna take a break. That's a nice session. We got the raids we get in, like 4 hours of raids. The plugin unique calc correct? As far as we know, yeah. Alright, let's pretend I have the Avernick treads, in case people want to know the difference. This would be my setup. I probably wouldn't change anything else. Assuming these were Avernick treads, this probably would be my setup. Yeah, the chins in. Probably do something like this. Anyway, you guys have a good night. I am going to call it there. Log for chambers. Wine. It's not that great though. If you can get a team, Dragon, that'd be nice. I'll go through the invos real quick before I go to bed, I guess. There are the invos. Good night, for real.